All right, so first and foremost, you like my new hat? Yeah, so this is one that I get from my guy at Strawn Wool out in Arizona that we're going to take and we're going to customize this hat for Superman. Yep, so probably next time you see it, it will be customized for Superman. But I didn't come to talk to you about my hat today. Actually, I want to talk to you about what I've been reading. So I've been reading this book, Tribal Leadership, and it's been a really eye-opening experience reading that book. And part of the reason why it's been eye-opening is because it's been explaining some things that you observe in life, but you may not always understand, right? And those are all well and great, but that's not what I'm talking about. There's a part of the book where he describes the types of relationships that you need to have as you're growing a tribal leadership organization, and what he described really, it's so basic and quite honestly biblical that it blew me away. That I was like, how did I not see this before? Okay. um, I um, I have the pleasure of people saying that I'm a pretty decent networker, and that I do really great introductions, and and I appreciate that. And I appreciate people who say that. And if you're listening to this and I've done an introduction for you and it's been great, thank you. Thank you for that opportunity. But he explained to me why it worked and why it works, right? Because it's something, honestly, I never understood. Like people have said for a very long time that, oh, man, you're so great at networking. And I just never understood it until this explanation here, right? And he says what most people do is they work to build dyadic relationships. In other words, two people, one on one. Okay. They work to when they go and they meet people, it's always, hey, I've met you and it's me and you having a conversation and we're doing our thing. Then they go meet somebody else in the same room and then it's one on one. And I've never seen the world that way. If I'm having a conversation with you, I am considering through the people I just met and the people I've known that you need to know. I'm considering through who you need to be connected with. And very often, especially in a room where we're doing lots of network, I'm considering who else in this room that I've just met. And then I'm working to figure out how to, to put the two of you together and make an introduction where person A realizes, oh my gosh, I do need to know person B. And person B feels like, oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Person A, where have you been my entire life? And how to create that connection and then remove myself. Okay? Um, I never realized that that was actually special until I'm reading this book and he says that is how you build a triad. He said that the true truth in building these tribal relationships and this tribal leadership is people who understand that their role is to take this person and figure out how and why they mesh together well and allow them to mesh and remove. And that you don't have to be in the center of it and you don't have to have the accolade of it and you don't have to have the ego of it, but that you can step back and watch the beauty of all of that happen. And it was something I never really considered as, you know, all that special until he said it. And the thing about it is because even when you do that, you're never truly out of the relationship. Everybody, the two people in the relationship, A and B, both know you were the one who put them together. And I said this is biblical because it says a thrice braided rope cannot be broken, right? Three strands can't be broken. And so yes, when we create two people relationships when we're doing networking, that can be broken because it only takes one person to falter for a moment, and then the whole thing fizzles. But now when we bring this third piece in and we create this glue here, now this can't be broken. And that's where true magic starts to happen. And so really, really quite interesting, and really got me to considering, because the thing that I've been trying to figure out for quite some time is how to, and I'm just going to say this bluntly because we're friends, so I can just say this, right? How do I track these relationships? So we've been talking about this internally for over a year. How do we actually track? Because I put so many people together, I lose track of who I've put together, right? Like I just got an email today from someone saying, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for this introduction to this other person. She is absolutely lovely. I can't believe she hasn't been in my life before. Man, we're going to do some great things together." And quite honestly, I forgot that I'd put them together. I don't even know when it happened. I don't remember that, but in the moment of whatever conversation I was having with them, I knew this third person was the person that they needed to meet and where they needed to be. And so I've been trying to figure out how to track that. And so all this to share, that's what I'm one of the many things that I'm working on right now is really looking at how we track that. My buddy Charles Bird introduced me to thebrain.com. If you don't know it, you should. It's great. But I want to take the brain even further, in how we build networks and how we find and think about people. So, yeah, this is truly Atiba's musings because I'm literally just musing as I'm talking about this. Okay, about creating a world where I can start to track these relationships, creating a world where I can have a conversation with you and you can say certain things which trigger a thought in my mind that I can go to a system and actually search and find the right person that I already know, and then it can help me figure out how and why to connect the two of you, right? Um, because let's be honest, I forget people. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's a reality. I remember situations, but I don't always remember people. And so trying to figure out how around that. So, tribal leadership. Didn't that's like a minor point in the major book, but it was a minor point that was super major for me. Great book. You really should read it.